In the last video, we saw how GPT-5 was unable to generate accurate clock images. If you give it a certain time, it will always output an analog clock with the time 10 past 10. And this is mostly for analog images. So today we are going to test what happens if we give GPT-5 an image of a real-life clock and we ask it, tell me what is the time on that image. So this is a different task, but we want to understand if GPT-5 really captures and comprehends the concept of time. Before I pass it an image, we're going to do a test. We're going to ask GPT-5 to write some Python code to draw an analog image, and then we're going to test it with a few times. If it's able to do it accurately, then we're going to give it the real-world image of the analog clock, and then we're going to ask it what is the time there. I've prepared this prompt here. It says using Matplotlib. If you don't know what it is, it's pretty much a visualization library. You can use it to draw plots and so on. It is great for statistics or for benchmarking when you want to visualize the results and so on. So we're going to use that library to draw a circle, and then at the center, there has to be a dot. The dots will be the origin points for the hour hands of the clock and the minute hands of the analog clock. The circle represents the analog clock. The degree at 12 p.m. or midnight is going to be degree 0, and then 3 p.m. is going to be 90 degrees, meaning that 6 p.m. or 6 a.m. is going to be 180 degrees, and so on. The task here of GPT-5 is to calculate by itself by what angles should the two lines be tilted to accurately represent the time I'm going to give it. So I'm going to add one last line here. Let's start with the time 3:35. I guess because it's a unified system, it's using a more robust model underneath because it needs to write some code and it needs to evaluate that it is correct. If you click on this, by the way, it's going to detail what it is doing in the background. It's not perfect, and this is more for human consumption, but you get the points. You can understand what it's trying to do at least. So here it's saying they are generating some code for the clock. 35 minutes, it has calculated that it is 210 degrees clockwise. So let's see. This would be the hour hand in pink. So this is 3 p.m. This is 4 p.m. And this is the 30th minutes. And this here is 35. So the time that I requested, 3:35 p.m., is accurate when it comes to using a chart to draw an analog clock. We're going to do one more example before we go to the real analog clock image. Try with the time 8:42. In fact, I'm going to tell it 20, so I'm going to use military time, I think 24-hour format. And let's see here. It's supposed to understand that this is 8, the 20th hour is 8 p.m. and 42 is somewhere in between 40 and 45. So let's see, this is 6, 7, 8th hour. This will be the 9th. So it's somewhere close to that. This is 30th minutes, 35th, 40th minutes. This is 45th. It's not quite in the middle. So yes, this is 2042. So quite accurate, I would say. This here is a real image. This is a watch that I took a photo of just a few minutes before recording this video. I took it at 11:33 p.m., 33:34, somewhere there. So I'm going to give it that image, and then we're going to see if it understands the concept of time. So I'm attaching the image now, and I'm asking also the question for my prompt. What is the time shown on the watch in this image? Let's send this prompt. Let's see what it's going to say. And this here is the answer. The time shown on the watch in the image is approximately 12:34. This is completely wrong. Maybe it thinks that it has been rotated. So even if it were the other way around, let's say this was 12 where my mouse is moving, 12 p.m. So yeah, kind of between 12 and 1. So the hour would be correct, but this would be wrong because it would be somewhere there, assuming it's still clockwise. So the logic here is not really checking out. I say no, try again. It's saying the hour hand is slightly past 12, but not yet at 1. So it's trying to justify the answer that it gave. But the thing is, even if you look at this here, it is clear that the hour hand is shorter than the minute hands. So you can see that GPT-5 is still struggling to understand spatial information and directional information as well. I am tempted in a way to try with an image from the web, but I prefer to use only real-world images to test it because this way I know that it has absolutely never seen exactly that image. Instead of me dragging this video, I want you guys to take a photo of your watch and then submit that on GPT-5. Even if you have a free account, you can test it out and let me know what you get as the results. So I look forward to reading your comments and I'll see you in the next video.